Hey guys, this is Christian Senior here back from C&H Smallings again for another informative service and review video. This one will be dealing with a older, we want to call mid to late 80s chainsaw as you see in front of me here. This is a Sears Craftsman branded machine here. It is a, let me flip it around here for you on the one side here before you can get this cleaned off. Sears Craftsman chainsaw, gas operated, 16-inch bar, and a 2.0 cubic inch engine on here as well too for that. This is the older 80s style, because the older 80s style ones are like typically like a light gray, almost like a we want to call battleship gray or some kind of a real light grayish white kind of color schematic out there for that. And you can usually tell that through different ages of Sears products, where the new ones might be like black and red, and the older ones before that might be like a grayish color, and the actual 80s, early 90s ones have this light gray color to them as well too for that. Let me give you a side shot over here as well too for that. Here's the other side shot with the actual muffler assembly plus the actual bar on the insides. Oh yeah, I should say the actual bar keeper here for that. Sorry about that. These ones do have mufflers you can actually take apart and clean out. That it is a definite plus for these older machines out there as well too. The muffler comes apart in about 3 pieces, and you just take it apart, clean it out, and you put it back together as well too. I recommend soaking it in some gasoline. And you can also light them on fire too as well too if you have a severe carbon deposit build up inside them as well too to clean them out properly. But most of the time I just put in some gasoline, get the old scrub brush out, and just hit them with the wire brush and scrub them out and put them back together, and they're usually good as new after you do that for that as well too. This one does not have a anti-stop brake, or we'll call it stop brake on. It just doesn't have it up here. All it is your old style. It does not have your stop brake on here as well too for that, or your stop brake, whatever you want to call it out here for that. This one has the older style Walbro carburetor on here. This one is fully adjustable, as you see here. You got 2 screws, and you also have your idle screw right here as well too. So everything is good to go for these older machines. So if you have any problems with them, sometimes you can fine tune the issues out with the low speed or high speed as well too on these machines. I'll give you the specific model number here as well too for you guys. Here we go. Let me get a better picture for you here. There we go. It's a 358.352360 with a serial number of 94228. H is in Henry 04155. Made for Sears and Roebuck. And that's all the details on the actual tag right there for that as well too. So everything's fully intact on the machine overall. This specific one is actually in relatively good shape, if you want to call it that. The guy brought it over to us about a couple days back, and he was telling me he hasn't used it in about 2 years supposedly, and it'd been sitting in his basement for that length of time. And we took it apart over here. The gas tank was I'd say about 1/4 full of oil. It looked like either the gasoline evaporated and it's like left like a tarry molasses kind of liquid in there. And unfortunately, that does happen sometimes on these older machines if you do not mix the gas properly, or if the gas you actually put them in wasn't actually clean and non-contaminated as well too. Plus the actual fuel line. The fuel line in these machines, they have to be routed up through the actual handle on here, so I just want to make that perfectly clear. The fuel line in this one, when he originally brought it over here, was completely deteriorated. It was almost, you basically couldn't see through it. It was completely brown, and it actually broke off in my hands over here. Right now we got a new good Tygon fuel line. This is what I recommend, and I actually use it for my own equipment plus the customer's equipment. Tygon fuel line, and it actually holds up to the fuel contamination and fuel permutation a lot more efficiently and for a longer term, as opposed to the OEM stuff out there for that. Because if you compare Tygon and you compare a lot of the MTD and call Sears, AYP, some of the McCulloch stuff out there, you'll notice that the the fuel line they put on there is usually clear, and the actual line is extremely stiff, especially in colder weather. The Tygon stuff stays nice and flexible and pliable in the colder weather out there for that, so you have less likelihood of it like cracking or breaking over a long-term period of time. And the actual fuel line in these ones right here, they have to be routed from the carburetor. I put a little loop on here, then they go down through the actual handle right here as well too. And you go back down here, and you have another hole right here. It goes down into the back of the casing, and then it goes down inside the actual tank right here. Your tank, it goes in on an angle sort of like that right there. It goes in on an angle just like that right into the inner side of the tank. It don't go straight down. It goes in on a horizontal angle directly into the side of the actual tank, and you want to use thick fuel line in order to install the replacement line for the original stuff that might have corroded or broken off down inside the tank for that. So I'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you, because you probably want to see that as well too, guys. So bear with me while I hold this thing in my one hand and try to take care of that as well too for you guys. So I got to put my camera down here for a couple seconds, so hold on here for a couple seconds. So there you go, there's your test start video for you guys, and overall this machine seems to be great for us over here, so I definitely recommend them 2 thumbs up if you do find an older machine such as this right here in overall good to excellent shape out of the one that hasn't been thoroughly worn out or abused. This one does have exceptionally high compression ratio, and it only has 1 piston ring in this specific style. However, the actual compression in this one was about 132 psi, and I actually could not believe myself until I actually checked the gauge twice and used 2 different attachments on the pressure psi gauge, double check and verify it was correct the original time, and it's about 132 psi, and that's after we clean the cylinder out. I put some new gasoline mixed on inside, fired up, and just basically ran a new fresh batch of gasoline through the engine, and we ran for a couple minutes over to make sure it was nice and hot, so we can try to do a real world test with the actual compression right there for that when it's hot. And overall, the actual ports were in excellent shape too. The muffler was in excellent shape, didn't have any kind of clogging or anything else, so this machine must have not been used quite heavily out there for that. So overall, this one was definitely worth working on and keeping to running specification right here for that. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot about this specific machine right here, feel free to leave me a message here, and I'll try to answer any basic questions you have about something similar to this, or maybe one almost identical to this for that. So if anybody has any comments, questions, as usual, just drop me a line here in the page, and I'll try to get back to you with some kind of a basic answer within 24 to 48 hours. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.